Hello. So recently the Deceit developers have updated their entire website, basically rehauling it. That includes adding a little bit more new information and streamlining all the old information. This also includes moving into a new website for their blogs. So I'm going to go over just about everything that they've changed, just a brief overview of all the new information. But first and foremost, there actually was a release date announced for Deceit 2, that is August 31st, which is kind of crazy. We're only a month and a half away from release date. I would have thought it was a lot later, but we are getting super close. We still don't know an exact price though, just that it will be low priced, but I'm sure that will come soon. There is also going to be a console test for the game, which will be interesting. We haven't seen any console footage at all. There's not a date for that yet, but you can check out their website and the Discord for more information about that whenever it happens. And now for the rest of the video, it's going to be basically just split into two parts. First going over the new blog posts, then going over the whole new website, including all the case files and just the rest of the information they've changed. In case you're only interested in one part of that, timestamps for everything should be in the description and on the timeline at the bottom. Now, if you've watched any of my other Deceit 2 informational videos, you may remember that all of the blog posts that I went over, it seems now that they are no longer accessible, and they've gone towards using Medium for the newest blogs. It's probably the best, to be fair, as a lot of the older information in the blog post was outdated anyways. But in case you're curious about what those looked like, you can check out my old videos on it. They're out in a playlist somewhere. In their first new blog post, they re-established what Deceit 2 is, as well as show off a new dev diary format that gives you more of a look into the dev's thoughts. And if you want to watch any of these diaries or read the information I'm presenting yourself, I'll put links to their sites in the description. But basically all the information in this first dev diary is in the post itself, so I'll just go over that now. Deceit had started being redeveloped in 2020, but the more they worked on it, the more they realized that creating a sequel would be a better option. Firstly, they moved to Unreal Engine 5 and they started working on a map, developing the aesthetics and how acoustics of the different sounds would work, especially with it being proximity voice chat. Instead of going the Deceit 2 route of specific items being on the map in different tasks, they implemented the peddler, which you can pick and choose what items you want without having to do any specific tasks around the map. Doing any of them will give you a soul, and once enough have been saved, people can choose whatever item they want. The way they have implemented this in Deceit 2 has very much made the game sandbox-like in nature. You can choose how you want to play in a lot of different variations. Also, the story is being fully fleshed out and will be a lot more prevalent in Deceit 2 than in its predecessor. That includes things like its new characters that are being introduced, including Beck, Priya, and Jack. But of course, we still have the original roster of characters as well. The next blog post in Dev Diary came after the first beta test and went over a lot of the good things from the test and potential problems that people found in the beta. Firstly, acknowledging that sometimes things could be visually confusing, like the tasks and the second sight system, and that they would make changes to more clearly show what was happening there. That, along with more tutorial type additions for the first time user experience. The in-between or the night phase also seemed to drag on quite a lot in a lot of the games, so they are also making sure to keep a close eye for improvements they can make there. There was also talks about a lover role, where a player would get to choose a partner, and they both win if they survive until the last few people, as well as like a Joker role, which will win if they are voted out successfully. Something that was talked about that's a little less about the game itself is what may be planned for moderation, specifically for those banned players in Deceit 1. There are not currently any plans to carry over bans for most of the people, though there are some cases where it may be necessary. The way that Deceit 2's lobby is made, they can ban people from public matchmaking in a way that they can still play, but only with people who want to play with them. There still will be ways to ban people from the entire game. Some of the bits from the blog itself that were not addressed in the video include a better Rift Eye system to flush out campers, and potentially other types of creatures that will assist the terrors in the in-between. They are also very aware of all the performance issues, which they assure it is their highest priority to get running smoothly on as many machines as they can, which would be necessary since they plan on it being on last-gen consoles. And lastly for this blog, there's some statistics that you may want to pause and read that are pretty cool. As for the most recent Beta Reflections blog post, there is a video that's not quite a dev diary. It states until launch they'll be working on a plethora of things, whether that be art, animations, combat, meta systems, basically polishing up on pretty much everything that they can in the game. Other than that, we don't have too much here, except there was a little bit more statistics on the second beta test that you can compare to the first one. Going back to go over their new website, firstly, you can check out this TSA forum, which is where you can find the lore of all the characters of the game. It is pretty interesting, so I recommend checking it out if you're a lore fanatic. It's got a lot of visuals and building up the whole idea of the characters and how they got into the situation. The ritual case file gives an overview of how the gameplay loop of Deceit 2 is meant to be played out. During the reality or day phase, locate and free the souls so that you can take them to the peddler, who will help you and give you items for the souls that you've collected. To find these souls, you can use the implant in your hand to use the second sight ability, which allows you to see all the objectives that they may be hiding in. Try to figure out who is infected and attempt to banish them. After downing someone, a vote is called, and when a majority of the people vote, they are eliminated from the game. Though, make sure to be wise when you're voting out. Voting out innocents is never good. As infected, you will be destroying the veil separating reality and the in-between. Use the weak points found around the map to bring forth the in-between quicker, and be careful as innocent and look for suspicious people around them. Once the in-between is brought forth, you will only be able to go back to reality with the sacrifice of an innocent. The infected must hunt down and attempt to sacrifice the innocent in this phase. As an innocent, be careful and watch your sanity meter, as if it gets too low, the terrorists will be able to see you wherever you are and making you easy prey, and not allowing you to run anymore. In this phase, the infected can transform into these terrors. Each one has unique abilities, and you must use them to their fullest for you to be able to take down and sacrifice all the innocents. The humans page briefly goes over the 9 characters and who they are as people. You can again pause, or go to the Deceit website to read their descriptions fully. The terrors page has the different terrors of Deceit 2, with just the experiment for now, but there will be more coming soon after the release as well, like the Wartorn or Werewolf, and Vespel or Vampire. The base experiment terror has a few abilities. The chokehold grabs the victim and drains their sanity. If the innocent does not have enough sanity to hold out, they will be executed. The rage ability screams and charges forth, draining the sanity of anyone it sees. Finally, it can block light using its arms so that it doesn't get stunned. Both this terror and others in the future will each have mutations that will happen through executions, though we don't have any specifics on the buffs they will give for now. For the maps, there is only one currently, the Millhaven Asylum, which is kind of like a reimagining of the Asylum map from Deceit 1, though they have also introduced a new map that is stated as coming soon, likely after release, Project Wergen. We don't have much information at all about this, but I would assume it's another reimagining of another Deceit 1 map for this new game. As for the Deceit 2 roles, there are currently 2 main roles, the Innocent and the Infected, but Deceit 2 is going to be implementing further roles, like the one already in the game, the Guardian, which can choose one person before each in-between period that will be saved if they are executed. Others may include the Joker or Lover's role like we talked about in one of the dev diaries. Finally, we have the items section, which states all of the items that you can currently get in Deceit 2, with certainly a lot more going to be added over time after release. There are close to 30 at the moment, so you can check out all of them in the descriptions on the Deceit website. And yeah, that is basically all the updated stuff on their website, other than the Showcase and Community tabs. The Showcase tab just showing off different content creators, like whoever's live on Twitch at the moment, along with some various YouTube videos and their own socials. The Community page shows off the roadmap, as well as some basic rules like no griefing, trolling, or teaming, no cheats or bug abuse, and no discrimination. Well, that's pretty much it. Whenever any new information and new blog posts come out, I will make sure to go over them in new videos, so make sure you are subscribed if you're interested in that, as well as any Deceit or Deceit 2 videos in general. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed, and thank y'all for watching.